G'day and welcome to Black Opal Direct. My name's Justin. Well, I was going to cut a nice big rough piece of opal on the machines, and I was going to talk about the ASMR side of things with the just listening to the grinding sounds. But what happened was this really big rough piece of opal that I thought wouldn't cut very much has cut something beautiful. So I have changed it a little bit, and you can enjoy the whole process of seeing this rough knobby turn out to be beautiful. So check this out. When I initially inspected this opal with the flashlight, it seemed like there was only a small chance of anything becoming clean. The sand looked like it took over the whole piece, but it really needed to be opened up to be sure. The white cap on top was a good indication that there could be good colour underneath, so grinding it down was my first priority. But the sand everywhere had given me little hope. Well, enjoy the hypnotic sound of the 120 grit aggressively taking off the excess matrix white cap. It's a catch-22 with sand and the silica. You can't have the silica without the sand to carry it, and you can't have the colour without the cavities in the sand. When the sand and the silica gets mixed together, you get opal like this, if that makes any sense. Many people say, why don't you use a Dremel to carve the sand out? And while I could, I think that a smooth surface, a nice dome, is always worth more than a pitted curved surface. This 120 grit wheel is so rough that sometimes it can throw splinters or shards of opal into my eyes. So when you get closer to getting all the sand out, it's wise to swap to a finer wheel. And you can start on the finer wheel earlier if you're not too confident about cutting opal. It's so nice to change to the finer wheel once you have most of the inclusions out. The sound of the finer diamonds taking all the rough scratches out from the previous wheel is so satisfying. And you know, I never expected this rough, sandy knobby to be as clean as it is inside. It seems I've struck not gold, but opal again. I think I'm on a winning streak. Thoughts were running through my head. Should I slice it, or should I leave it as one nice big large piece? And you know what? Not many big knobbies like this clean up so well. So I've decided to leave the thing rough on one side and polished on the other, making it an awesome necklace piece or a wire wrapper's dream. And so the process continues of me grinding this piece to finer and finer abrasives to get myself in an end result of a beautiful full polish. At this stage, a constant drying the stone and checking the surface to see where the scratches are and the final parts that you need to get out before you're going to polish is really important. I used my forearm or a towel to dry off the stone, but it's imperative that you do, otherwise you won't know if you have done a good job. This 1200 grit Nova wheel, it's the noisiest wheel I have. And it's funny, being so noisy it sounds like it's taking lots of opal off, but actually it's taking the least amount off and giving it a beautiful pre-polish, getting ready for the cerium oxide. Couple of finishing touches on the 1200 grit and I'm ready for my favourite part, the polish. When polishing a big piece like I have, you need lots of water on the felt wheel because with a big stone pushing quite hard, you can burn the stone quite easily, so you need lots and lots of water and cerium. This felt wheel I've used for years and I've created grooves from smaller stones, so the only place to polish this big piece is in the centre where there's a flat surface. If I try to polish it on the grooved areas, I'll put grooves into the opal as well, so it's safer just to be in the centre. Alright, so I made a lyre out of myself. You can use the grooved areas, but you really have to move it around quite a lot to avoid creating grooves in your opal.
you.